Could you describe for us your average day?
It sucks, basically.
Homelessness can be quite stigmatized.
Lazy, scary, dangerous.
There is no magic wand that you can wave over the issue of homelessness and expect that it's just completely going to go away.
This right now feels like the hardest job that I've ever had, honestly. I'm Ashley, I'm 33, and unfortunately I panhandle every day. When I get up, I get on the bus, I come out to Hadley, I get my sign, I go and I stand on the island. I do feel like I'm at like a display when people ask me questions or say things to me. I feel like a lot of people feel like they can catch homelessness. Like, it's not a disease, you cannot catch homelessness, so you don't have to roll up your windows or be scared I'm gonna jump through your window or something. But at this point in time, I'm kind of just like used to it and numb to it, I guess.
How often do people give to you?
A lot of people give change, or they give ones, single ones. Some give multiple ones. That doesn't happen very often. I got a few that have given me 20s before, or 5s, or even 10s. Thank you. God bless you. Have a good afternoon. I am homeless, but I'm also leaving the decision up to them. God bless you. Have a good afternoon. I'm not putting on my sign that I'm homeless and that I'm hungry and that you have to give me money. Like, I'm not asking that whatsoever. I'd rather leave it up to them and let them know, like, I understand that they work hard, so the choice is basically theirs.
A lot of the individuals who come to the shelter are in some way trying to support a family, which is really tough. So I know a lot of people, they talk about their kids, sometimes they tear up when they talk about their kids, they're always really happy, they show us pictures. But it's definitely tough because I think a lot of people are trying to dig themselves out of their own holes, like, while also trying to be a good parent.
Around Christmas time, I was given a $250 Walmart gift card, which I spent on my children's Christmas gifts, which made me happy because I was trying to figure out how I was going to provide Christmas gifts for my kids. And I always like to go out and bring my kids to do stuff like my oldest, which is 9, she likes to go skating and everything like that. We just recently went to Billy Bees in the Holyoke Mall.
I know where that is, yeah.
Yeah, we had a blast there. I don't stop worrying. My mind always races, and I'm always thinking about something, and unfortunately, my mind always brings me to the worst instead of, like, the good things. There's times where I feel like it's never going to change, and I want to give up, but I don't, and I just keep my kids in my head, and that's what keeps me motivated to keep applying for jobs and keep trying to help with or find an apartment.
Each guest that we have is different. They have a different story, they have a different personality, and they each have their own unique issues that they're struggling with.
So just think what it would be like for anybody to become homeless over time. There's a certain amount of trauma you go through for that to happen.
My mother passing away in my home. Both my mother and my daughter both passed away in my arms, basically. I've lost a lot of family members, like, back to back to back. And then with being homeless, being in a tent, being stressed out every minute of every day, basically, it's a lot of wear and tear on you, a lot of wear and tear.
Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, you know, today's a great day for me to be homeless. Today's a great day for me to worry about how I'm going to feed my kids, or how I'm going to house my kids, or how I'm going to make sure that these children who are now living in shelter with me and in a new community are going to enter into a new school system feeling accepted at a new temporary or perhaps longer-term placement. It's not pleasant. Homelessness in so many different situations is actually just a symptom of a bigger, larger issue.
There's a poverty issue, there's a social justice issue, there's clinical issues. So I'm a little bit more on the clinical end of the spectrum in terms of our work, but we're knowledgeable about it being a social justice issue and an economic issue that has to be addressed. And then even if you were to build out, let's say, enough housing affordability and people had options to get housed, then you have access issues. Whether it's access to actual housing or even access to treatment or recovery-based services, there's a lot of biases out there against the folks we try to help.
A lot of people, when they see our guests panhandling in the middle of town, they get scared. Because, you know, are these people intoxicated? Are these people crazy? You know, like that word, crazy. They don't know them as people, so they sort of immediately, you know, red flags go up and they sort of immediately categorize them as...
Get a job, stop being lazy.
Really?
I get propositioned all the time.
Wow.
They feel but there are some of the girls that are out here that actually do side favors along with this.
And so
I am not one of those people. I respect myself and my body far too much. Things. I'm a mother of 3, like, no. And even if I wasn't a mother, like, no. So you know ahead of time, so you know ahead of time, don't be surprised if you get a lot of that from people.
Oh, really?
So.
You find that Walker Lines bring more people that are willing to donate?
No. Unfortunately, I am out here every single day. I hate being out here. I hate doing this.
For some, the assumption is very easy to make that they're lazy, they're milking the system, they don't want to work or just, you know, get a job. When in all actuality, the majority of individuals who are homeless are not there by choice.
I was living in an apartment that wasn't suitable for children according to DCF. They basically gave me the option of move out of that apartment or they were taking my children.
What you end up going through towards slowly losing kind of everything you had to being out there is traumatizing. Pre-treatment is a whole approach that I talk about on how to help folks, and it works off of 5 basic principles. And so when we do this work, it brings all of those 5 principles together into the forefront within the context of a person's story.
So I moved out of that apartment. I gave my children to my family to take care of while I get back up on my feet. And I came out here to the shelter, not realizing it wasn't year-round. It's only during the wintertime. But because I'm agoraphobe and I have anxiety, the shelter really wasn't, like, really good for my anxiety.
Just even being outside on a really cold night and not getting access to shelter is traumatizing.
It just feels like a failure on the part of, I guess, the provider system. I always feel just really defeated and kind of like I failed somehow.
For people to make assumptions about those individuals who are in a situation where they need assistance with housing really requires a greater sense of tolerance and empathy and understanding.
I try not to judge people. I do not use drugs. I definitely do not use alcohol. I have family members that have passed from both. I have 3 children that I have to live for. And with all the overdoses that are going on around here, I'm not trying to be on that list of people that have passed away.
Even if it is a scam, if you're desperate enough to pull off that kind of scam, you probably need assistance.
I'm not real big on lumping people into a category. That's a human, all too human kind of experience. I mean, to sort of say, so that's what all the homeless are up to is ridiculous, because you can find that in any kind of place, whether it's white collar world or blue collar world.
I try to eat healthy. Walking back and forth every day and walking to other places is a part of my exercise. Not that I have a choice from that, but it's part of my exercise.
Even after we house some people, some folks end up dying. And some of it is overdoses, and some of it is people being outside and freezing to death, due to the elements.
As of now, we have between 180 and 190 people who use the shelter. As we grow as an organization, one of our aims would be to increase the scope of our availability. We have so many resources and so much money, it doesn't make sense to me as to why this is still like an ongoing epidemic.
Massachusetts is really one of the most aggressive states when it comes to addressing the issue of homelessness. I think, certainly could there be more resources? There could always be more financial resources. But I think we're very, very fortunate in that we have a governor, we have a Department of Housing and Community Development, we have legislators who really do look at this issue. In Amherst, CHD has a wonderful program called Not Bread Alone. And when you think of that title, and Not Bread Alone, it is meant both literally as well as figuratively, because individuals who are coming to Not Bread Alone are coming for a warm meal, certainly. They're coming for food care packages, coming for access to resources and services to help them in the situation they're facing. But they're not eating alone.
Hello. Okay, sleep in the pot. Go ahead, I'm ready.
They're coming to a place where there are round tables and there's real plates and real napkins and silverware. It's all fresh. We incorporate a ton of local farmers and produce in the meals that we serve at Not Bread Alone.
Communities working together, big initiatives that really draws not just one community, but the whole region into helping. All I know is we make the best effort we can, and we're doing the work day by day, and I know we're helping folks.
I'm optimistic. I think people have an incredible capacity for change and adaptation, as we can see just because of the fact that they're surviving in this situation. So if they can do that, they can do anything.
I remember going to the bank one day with one of my daughters, and there was this very beat up car, and he was sitting in the bank parking lot, and it looked like he was having his breakfast. And as I looked in the car, it was pretty obvious that every single one of his belongings was there with him. And I remember saying to my daughter, it's unacceptable. How can I, as another human being, allow this human being to not have a roof over his head, to not have a place to, put their head at the end of the night, to rest on a pillow and in an environment that's theirs. And so I walked up to the truck and I gave this man my business card and I said, please call me. please call me. I haven't heard from him yet, but I hope that I do, because I would really like to help him.
I'm more than willing to, if anybody has a job, more than willing to work. Like, not against it whatsoever. And they know where to find me. They've seen me, they know where to find me.